instruments. This becomes quite a powerful.
Go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Wayne Hiller van Rensburg. I'm the Executive Officer of the Institute of Retirement Funds. Thank you for joining us this morning. The session is related to our upcoming conference, and we'll talk through that. We do invite any questions. Please raise your hand or put any of your questions in the chat box. Just to give you context this morning, who we have with us from the IRFA team and IRFA support partners. We have the IRFA President Geraldine Fowler with us, who will be talking a little bit. We have our other conference committee member, Enos Ngachane, who is our immediate past president as well. And from the office, we have Puti Padu, who is our our front-facing, our membership liaison officer of sort. So please welcome them. And then from our conference partner, the conference company, we have Adele Elof. So we hope we'll be able to answer your questions this morning. It really is a session to provide you with information. So we'll share what we think you need to know. Otherwise, please ask specific questions and we can work from there. Thank you. I'm going to now hand over to Geraldine. Over to you, Geraldine.
Good morning, Wayne. I see I have not got the ability to put my camera on. It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it, but that's not a problem. People don't necessarily need to see my exquisite face. I will just speak to them and I'm sure my voice will be enough. So good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. As always, we would like to express our appreciation to you for taking some of your valuable time to spend it with us and the interest that you are showing in our conference. So the IRF team and our events organizers are really excited about the conference. Especially now that there's some ease on the restrictions. I know Wayne is going to talk a little bit about that later on, but certainly the amount of interest that we have seen and that has been directed to us since our conference in November last year and then in the last few months has been huge. And that has just added to our excitement. So I'm just going to speak briefly and I'm going to just set the scene as to how we arrived at this theme for our conference, a decade of retirement reform, taking stock and shaping the future. So if we look at the reason, we see here a quote from our previous Minister of Finance, Pravin Gordhan, and this dates back to 2012. In his budget speech, he said, at the end of the day, government has one interest, and that is to ensure that the beneficiaries of retirement process benefit substantially from their own savings. These are structural changes and a paradigm shift. So the IRF's ultimate goal in our industry is and always will remain the betterment of retirement fund members' outcomes, but not just for retirement fund members, also for the society that we live in. And if we just reflect on the changing world we were experiencing pre-COVID, then we can see at that stage already we were living in a world that was moving and changing at a pace that was accelerating all the time. I can see Wayne has asked me to start my video. Let's have a look. There we go. Okay, so Pre-COVID, we were living in times that were changing rapidly. We saw that the advancement in medical sciences that has accelerated longevity. We saw prominent universities starting to set up projects and centers that was concentrating specifically and at the advancement of medical science. We look at the Oxford Sciences project in itself, technology, the fourth industrial revolution, millennials. We were talking about millennials, and then suddenly we were talking about Generation Z. And I read an article the other day that said that we've all seen the big hoorah that is going on in China as far as Naspers and Tencent is concerned. And really, the reason why the Chinese government is taking it so seriously, the issue with Tencent and the restrictions that they want to place, is because teenagers in China on average are spending 6 hours a day online and playing games, and that obviously, that is an indication of how the world is changing. So what we then said is, we can see that things have changed and is continuously changing. So how should and do we offer the products and services in our industry in the future to actually align it with this? These are conversations that's not new. We have started them some time back, but I think this is just the acceleration need that is placed on this has just increased exponentially. So the marketing of, apologies for my phone, the marketing of products, how we offer it, technology, systems, it's all what we need to look at, but also very importantly, the governance, compliance, statutory requirements, legislation that goes around how we are going to offer these products. And then we also need to ask ourselves, is the word retirement going to become obsolete? And what we offer in its place is we attach something or a new form of description to it, especially considering that these millennials and definitely Generation Z that we are talking about, the outlook and approach to life and savings and how they would like this to be offered to them, and the fact that they are most likely going to spend more time post-retirement than what they do spend in their working lives. So that is really how we arrived at the decade of retirement reform, because we've seen the last 10 years, huge changes have taken place, but where to from now? So that is really all I'm going to say. I'm going to, at this point, hand back to Wayne and our conference organizers, and I'm sure they will be far more entertaining than what I am. But again, from my side and from IRF and our board and our EXCO, thank you very much. We really appreciate your attendance. Thanks, Wayne, back to you.
Thank you, Geraldine. And I'm sure everyone's had an opportunity to look at our prospectus. We've set out a lot of this thinking in the prospectus. We won't delve too much. I won't delve any more on this. Thank you for setting the scene, Geraldine. This is painting the picture of the kind of conversations we'd like to have at conference. And importantly, looking at what it is that we're planning for conference, and we'll share that with you. It was also set in the prospectus, but we've got Adele with us as well, who can help us with the detail. For the COVID planning, we have had a look at what's available. Geraldine mentioned that the restrictions have been lowered, and what is the IRF's plan around this? We're assuming that we'll come with a different plan if there's another lockdown. For the moment, we are discussing our plan with no lockdown, and hopefully the pandemic subsiding. So the option we've taken based on government regulation is the 50% capacity. That would mean for a venue like the Durban ICC, where we're hosting this, would be roughly 5,000 people. Let's hope we have that many delegates, but we would obviously be enforcing wearing masks if that's still a requirement. And then the option of requesting our attendees, the delegates, to provide us with proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test at their own cost. This has been the practice in some other industry events that are out there, and it's something we'd like to support. I don't know if there are any questions at this time before we move on. What I also want to mention while we're talking about COVID, again, due to the fact that we've already anticipated that some people would prefer not attending in person due to maybe not COVID, but just other practical reasons, the conference is already being developed with a hybrid element to it, although the actions and activity are based at the Durban ICC, the planning at the moment. If there are no questions, please, like I said, feel free to put up your hand or put a question in the chat box. I haven't seen any as yet. Just checking, nothing. I'm going to move on. Then just to touch base on the sponsorship opportunities that are available. We have the 4 main sponsor opportunities, which come with plenary speaking opportunities as well. What we have essentially is we have a commitment for all of gold, silver, and bronze at the moment. The platinum is still the one opportunity that's available. We are hoping by the end of this week to be able to confirm with everybody which of these 4 sponsorship opportunities have been taken. I don't know if there are any questions at this point that anybody would like to raise. We can organize so that you can talk rather than have to raise a hand. Invite any questions. If no one has anything, we can move on. Not seeing anything at the moment. Then the other sponsorship opportunities speaking opportunities. So we'll start with the speaking opportunities. Those are there are various master classes of those, and we'll have a look at the floor plan, which might help us a little in understanding how we see this. 2 of the master classes, or 3 of the master classes, will be in the plenary session, so where the main proceedings are being held, and then there are 2 others. These 2 others are a hybrid format, where the speaker will be invited to speak via a screen with attendees sitting in on those. If there's a different format, you can always reach out to the conference company, and Adele in particular, to see how we can work through that. Then the other opportunity is the cocktail reception. If there's anybody who'd like to take that opportunity, the cocktail reception, moving away from a gala dinner, provides people with a quicker, easier engagement. And at our last conference we hosted in person in November, it was well received by all the delegates. And then the other opportunity that's available would be exhibition stands, and this we'll have a look at now. And again, when we look at the floor plan, probably make more sense. As I'm going on, please remember, feel free to ask questions so that we can hear what it is that you need to know. I'm going to move to the next section. And maybe I will, as I'm working through this, invite Adele to talk. I'm actually going to go to the next slide, and hopefully everyone can see that. Our initial thought around the exhibition space, and we'll get back to the bigger story now is that there is a central IRFA hub, sort of a communication point where people can meet, an engagement point. And then around this engagement point for now is where we'll have the standard stands. Again, Adele will be able to help with the detail if there are any specifics around that. There's a sort of angular view of what this is. The two openings on the side will allow for people to move through. The two corner stands that you can't see at the moment will be utilized by the IRF and our teams, and then the rest of the stands are open for exhibitors if they exhibiting opportunities. And then the central bit, like I said, again, would be a place where we're going to encourage engagement and facilitate some talks. But again, on an informal basis, there's nothing particular happening there. And then if we go back to the layout, for now, this is how we've designed it. We anticipate that we're going to have more stands around the building, but we've started with this design just to keep it clean. As you can see, the opening or the main entrance is from that position where it says sponsor 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the pavilion type exhibition space set right behind it, and ultimately with the addition of more stands around the back and the side of the building for now. So these sponsors 1, 2, and 3, that's included in the main sponsorship opportunity and the main speaking and sponsor opportunities. It's part of the entitlement there. Again, just to give you a feel, we'll be asking if your artwork printed and presented. And then I've jumped to the last bit. Adele, I want to invite you maybe to come and give some of the appropriate language here, because I've mumbled a little in these things. You'll be able to talk a bit more to the specs and the layout for us, please. Thank you, Adele.
Perfect. Thank you, Wayne. Good morning to everybody. It's lovely to see everybody online. Some of you guys I've already started talking to. I'm going to try and put my camera on, but please tell me if it's not that clear, because it seems to me here in Durbanville, Cape Town, it's raining today and then everything goes down. I'm a little bit out the bundus. So this is me. So what we've got is we tried to create a pavilion so that all of you guys get maximum exposure. And you would see that 2 of the sides are completely open so that people can walk from the outside area, the catering areas, etc., onto your stand. But then we've also created 2 entrances on the left-hand side in the front and on the backhand side at the back. So people don't use your stand as a walkthrough, but we want to create a more uniform approach so that all of you guys get equal exposure. I understand it's always very difficult for you guys to say, let me pick a stand. What stand will give me the most exposure? And in this plan, there is all of them you would be able to see. You get maximum exposure. You get, and the front would be the entrance where the sponsors are. On the left-hand side, right-hand side, and on the back, we've created catering areas and seated areas for the delegates, which makes it quite unique, so that then all of you guys get equal opportunity here to meet with as many clients as possible. The master classes we are doing on my right-hand side of the floor plan, and we're keeping the master classes also very open so that people can actually view standing inside the master class, but they will also have a very good view of the exhibition floor, so that we don't close things in, because the moment you start closing in, then you as exhibitors and sponsors lose traction, and we don't want that. Exhibition stands are 3 meters by 3 meters, the normal 9 square meters. meters. We are using not that white shell skim. This year, we have decided to go more with a modern stretch fabric, of which one of the sides, as an exhibitor, you get branded, which is a 3 meter by 2.5 meter wall. So exhibitors would just send us all your branding or your design work for the 2.5 meters by 3 meters branded wall inside your stand. And then the stand builder will actually print it for you guys in full color, and they'll set it up for you as well. So yeah, so that is basically from my side, maximum exposure. There's not a bad stand here. All of them will get equal exposure due to the different floor plan options where you've got the catering areas going right around. If there's any questions, just shout, please.
Thanks, Adele.
I think if you can also raise the issue of the possibilities of adding more stands.
Yes, absolutely. Wayne, if you want to go down to the floor plan, you would see on the left-hand side, you get the delegate catering side, opposite our side of the masterclass. Alongside that wall, we would be able to put more stands in, and we would still be able to have enough aisle space to be able to put lounge pockets in those areas so that we are not taking any of the foot traffic away from you. So that stand 18 to 20, that was 16 to 20, there we would be able to put more stands in on the back, on the side wall. Then on the back wall, we would also be able to put more stands if we expand. The other option is to actually make the pavilion bigger and have lounge pockets inside the pavilion, and then we keep that uniformity of the square pavilion. But we will not change your stand in different locations. For example, if you decide this is the stand you want, and you take a corner stand, we're not going to take that location away from you at all, unless we open the floor plan and we put stands on the sides and you say, oh well, we like that a lot more. We obviously want to fill this up, and then when we need to expand the floor plan, we will let you guys know we are expanding the floor plan. Would you like to jump to another stand before we open up? Or do you want to stick to your location? But as I say, we're not going to change the foot traffic coming into your stand. The lunch areas would stay exactly where it should be. That's not going to move. Any questions?
Yeah, with the additional stands, will there also be, will it also be a generic stand, or will it be and same size?
Yes, yes, all of them will be 3 by 3 meter stands, and you would get exactly the same. Everybody gets the branded wall, which is 2.5 by 3 meters branded wall. You just send us your branding to be able to print on the walling. You get your 2 spotlights, you get your table, your chairs, all of you get your plug point, all of that is included in the stand pricing. And we really try to make it as cost effective for everybody, because, you know, we understand the situation, but this is really very cost effective based on what we get. So we try to put in as much as possible in for you so that you don't have to fork out any additional costs. So yes, so all of that would stay exactly the same. We're not taking anything away.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Wayne, I think we're good. If there's anybody else, you can just, can just jump in.
Oh, wow, apologies. So are there, I think that there are quite a few things, maybe just if we can talk the masterclass spaces again. Thank you for, you know, for saying about the openness, but just share a little about the screen and how the presenting will work there. Thank you. You're on mute. We need to unmute you.
Zoom. Okay, cool. Thanks. Thanks, Wayne. The master classes, against the back wall, there will be a screen, a large presentation screen. All of that would be live streamed. The presenter will not physically present. They would actually present from wherever they are located. And people are able to go and attend the masterclass as when they want to. There will also, if you sponsor masterclass, your branding will be in the masterclass. We actually we're going to put a very big wall just outside the masterclass, and your branding will be on those masterclasses as well. We specifically kept it open so that you get the most branding exposure as well. Then people go, oh, this company is actually going to present now, so that people don't feel it's completely closed up. It's by invitation only. We're trying to keep those masterclasses very open for those that sponsor the masterclasses to get the max exposure. Obviously, on the conference program, on the masterclass program, your branding will be very visible on the screens and on the slides as well. So we will work together with you when you guys send your presentations, etc., to us, your speaker information, etc., to make sure that you get the maximum branding exposure in the master classes. Is that good in order, Wayne?
I think maybe just to reiterate, we haven't shown a picture of the plenary session. We just have the layout for the exhibition hall. But sorry, now I've moved the slide on. It doesn't really matter. But for the plenary masterclass sessions, obviously that's a live session and it's in the plenary venue. So that's a slightly different type of speaking opportunity. Not slightly, it is a different speaking opportunity. So that would, no, go for it. Apologies.
Yes, so the plenary masterclass would be an actual face-to-face masterclass in the plenary room, where a presenter would actually be on stage presenting to the audience, where the two masterclasses on the exhibition floor would be an online masterclass. And that allows delegates to come and attend that one also, but to jump online to attend those master classes. That would be the live one and to these one anyway. We make those all available.
And again, I'm just thinking of some questions here. We were speaking about the hybrid format. So that would mean, if I hope this is what it means, is that we were going to stream whatever's happening in the plenary when it happens, and then we're going to have our concurrent streaming for those 3 masterclasses that happen concurrently in the program. Yeah,
100%. You spot on. So we stream what is in the plenary, the face-to-face, so that those that come online would be able to look what is in the plenary one-on-one, and then they can jump to the online masterclasses as well. So there's quite a variety from sessions that they can choose at the end of the day to really maximize your exposure as a sponsor.
Okay, I mean, I'm going to be quiet and maybe invite Enos to ask if he's got any other questions. Thank you for raising the additional stand questions. Anything else you'd like to ask, maybe share, Enos?
Wayne, I think both of you and Adele have sort of covered all the critical, points that we wanted to discuss this morning. So I'm quite happy. Thank you.
Geraldine, while we're waiting for some other questions, any other observations or questions you think you'd like to hear about right now?
No, thank you, Wayne. I think between yourself and Adele, you have covered everything. Certainly clear in my mind. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Geraldine. And just for everyone, if you are going to speak to someone at the IRFA office, you're most likely going to chat firstly to Putty. Putty, I don't know if you just want to say hello quickly, just so that everyone can hear your voice. Become familiar. I don't know if you've got a camera available, just so that everyone can see who you are, or at least hear who you are. Over to you, Putty.
think from my side. Can you?
Yes, your camera is a little bit high, but yes, we can see your face. Nearly. Thank you.
And see my face as well. Thank you,
Yes.
everyone. No, nothing much from my side, Wayne. Everything has been covered well. Thank you.
Okay, all right. And thank you, Puti. So Puti would be the IRFA person you'd most likely speak to first. Then when it comes to talking about sponsorship and the technical stuff, you can speak to myself or Adele. We'd probably be the primary contacts for on your side. And feel free to ask any questions. We will send up a follow-up, and we welcome questions so that we can provide answers or refine our thinking. If there's nothing else, I don't see any other questions. It's a nice quick session. I'm going to ask Geraldine if she'll close the session for us, and then hopefully we'll be speaking to all of you soon. Keep well. Thank you. Over to you, Geraldine.
There we go. Thanks very much, Wayne, and thank you very much, everyone, for attending. I saw some familiar names there in the attendee panel, so nice to see that. And as Wayne said, if there's anything that anyone would like to discuss with us, please feel free to either contact himself or Adele. Myself and Enos would also be available. But otherwise, just from my side and from the team side, I can assure you, as with past standards, this is going to be a conference that everyone would like to be part of and to attend. As you can see right from the outset, the effort and the planning that is going into this is going to be world-class. So I would truly encourage everyone to be part of it, and not just for ourselves and our brands out there, but as I said, as always, our aim is to create better outcomes for the members that we serve in our industry. So thanks very much, and that's all from me.
Thank you, and bye-bye, everyone.